Hi guys, welcome to Exceedable. Now, once upon a time, back in the late 90s, you could not walk into a movie theater without seeing Brendan Fraser's face looking back at you. He was everywhere, making movies left and right, having big box office success, until he wasn't. Here's a guy who had everything go wrong. He struggled with depression, serious injuries from doing his own stunts, got divorced, lost so much of his income, and ended up doing conventions and participating in other people's movies and TV shows just to make a living. And I am here to tell you why Brendan Fraser would never have won an Oscar if his life hadn't completely imploded.
I started in this business 30 years ago, and things, they didn't come easily to me, but there was a facility that I didn't appreciate at the time until it stopped.
Well, let's start with this one, shall we? By his own admission, he got it fairly easy when he started his career. Hollywood embraced him almost from the get-go, to the point that he got complacent. He was earning a lot of money, very much in demand, and ended up making some seriously crappy movies, that paid him very, very well. George of the Jungle rings a bell. And that's how he ended up typecast. He was the goofy, good-looking hero that kept falling off or bumping into things with a whole lot of running and punching in the middle. And let's face it, Hollywood is notoriously cutthroat when it comes to these things. Even if at the time Brendan did look for a deeper, more significant role, no director would have given it to him for fear of having a typecast actor ruining their serious role and their movie, basically. And if he did find someone who took that chance on him, he would probably just have ended up ridiculed, like so many A-listers when they tried to do something more meaningful. You know what I'm talking about, right? I am aware of where I was, where I went, and where I am now, Fraser has said. And this may just be his biggest asset.
He's someone who is on a raft of regrets, but he's in a sea of hope. And I've been at that sea, and I've rode that wave lately, and it's been powerful and good. And I've also had that wave smash me right down to the ocean floor and drag my face along there and wind up on some strange beach in a different world and wondering, where am I now? And I just want you to know for real, all the actors out there who have gone through that, who are going through that, I know how you feel, but believe me, if you just stay in there and you put one foot in front of the other, you'll get to where you need to go. Have courage.
Everyone keeps calling this his big comeback, and I get it. People love a comeback story, but I don't think that's it at all. He didn't just come back, he reinvented himself. The Brendan Fraser from the 90s and the Brendan Fraser we have now are the same person, of course, but so completely different people in a way. That time away from the spotlight allowed him to grow into the person and the actor he was meant to be all along. It allowed him to find a depth that he probably wouldn't have found if he had stayed in Hollywood's good graces all this time. And it also pretty much wiped his slate clean, if you will. He no longer needs to be the action hero, he can be whomever he wants. All those jokes people made about him, about how good looking he was before and how he looks now, when they made fun of his interview just 4 days after his mom died, the having to keep going no matter how hard things were for him, allowed him the knowledge, the depth to play Charlie so expertly, so profoundly, that you can't help but feel moved by this journey.
I think that's something that we can all take a page from and know that with perseverance, if you put one foot in front of the other, like Charlie did, go to the light. Believe me, if I can do it, you can too.
And in a way, it also set him free. In a recent JQ interview, Brendan spoke about this newfound way of dealing with life and his work, and he said, you know what? I'm going to enjoy whatever's coming. I'm going to go to it laughing, and whatever happens after that, it was enough. It was enough. And that is, of course, the best possible way to live, to put effort into whatever we do and believe in, and then just letting go, accepting that the outcome isn't ours to control. We do our best, and then we just enjoy the ride, because that is indeed enough. So yeah, the soft-spoken Brendan Fraser we have today should inspire all of us, particularly when our lives aren't going the way we hoped and we find ourselves despairing, without seeing any light at the end of our tunnel. Life has a way of providing lessons, hard, painful lessons that will allow us to become the people we are meant to be to live the life we deserve. And even though it doesn't feel that way, when we are dab smack in the middle of those very hard times, and it sure didn't feel that way for Brendan, we are still moving forward every single day.
If you, like a guy like Charlie, who I played in this movie, in any way struggle with obesity, or you just feel like you're in a dark sea, I want you to know that if you too can have the strength to just get to your feet and go to the light, good things will happen.